Hey everyone, it's David, Body Mechanics. Today I want to talk to people about foot pain and how to prevent foot injuries. We have a lot of people who are starting to run now that the weather is starting to get a little bit nicer. So it's super important to take care of the arches in your feet, your posterior tibialis muscles, your intrinsic muscles in the feet that control the arch and the toes, prevent bunions, prevent fallen arches, prevent MTSS and tibial stress injuries. So those active structures, the muscles in the arch of the foot that allow you to create flex your toes, and they allow you to kind of lift and create a dome shape in the arch. These muscles are being used all the time when we're walking, when we're running, and we may or may not know that we're using those muscles. And if we're not using those muscles on purpose, if we're not intentional about the way that we use those muscles, they can get strained. And if they get strained and they gradually start to fail, then you'll develop plantar fasciitis and or bunions, depending on how you're moving. So if you stand with a neutral stance, all of us, the biggest portion of our body weight is between the arches of the feet. So naturally, our feet experience this fallen arch kind of direction. Now, you may have a genetic disposition to have more of a fallen arch or less of a fallen arch if you have a more rigid foot type. But if you do have a soft arch like I do, if you just stand and you're not intentional about it, your feet will naturally kind of round inward. You can intentionally work against that by working to lift the feet, by just gently shifting the weight to the bottom, the outside border of the feet, and gently activating the toes so as to use the pads of the toes, not the tips, but the pads of the toes, and just gently depressing down to keep the arches of the feet active and the toe flexors active. This will help support the plantar fascia and the arch of the foot. That way you're not developing those injuries. This is really easy to do when you're walking or when you're standing still. It's harder to do when you're actually running. So the best thing to do is to train these muscles standing or casually walking before you try to get them involved with a run.